Tawanan lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masangamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila. Nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 6.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is koolNews at 6 p.m. Thank you so much, of course, for inviting us wherever you're currently at. From the headquarters of Cool FM, I'm DJ Sen. Okay, it appears we are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Dreamcar, my partner for tonight, is having some technical difficulties at this time. His microphone is not receiving as of this particular moment. So hopefully we'll fix that one during the broadcast. There
And
it
I'm
is.
Dreamcar Karaoke, and topping our news tonight, DOJ starts preliminary probe into trafficking case versus Go, 13 others. The Department of Justice conducted on Friday its first preliminary investigation into the case of suspended Bambak Tarlac Mayor Alice Go and several others for qualified trafficking in persons. The case stemmed from the complaint filed by the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission and the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group before the DOJ last June 21, alleging that Go and 13 other respondents were involved in the establishment and operations of Baofu Compound, previously Hongshen Technology, which subsequently became Zunyuan Technology. Both POGO hubs reportedly involved in forced labor, human trafficking, online fraud, and investment scams. The respondents were allegedly fully aware of the illegal activities persisting inside the Baofu compound. As reported, authorities discovered and established a close link between Zunyuan in the Baofu compound with Go and herein correspondence with which resulted in the filing of these cases. According to Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla, no one will be spared from this investigation. Heads will roll once we find probable cause to do so. In an interview, Mayor Alice Go's counsel said following the preliminary investigation that there was no direct evidence against his client on human trafficking. Lawyer Alex Avisado said that the evidence provided against the mayor was forced and stressed that Go was not connected to any human trafficking activities. According to Avisado, an electricity bill was, as evidence, articles of incorporation, a letter of no objection is that already human trafficking. Also in our news tonight, Trillanes files plunder raps against Duterte go before DOJ. Former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV arrived at the Department of Justice on Friday to file plunder charges against former President Rodrigo Duterte and Senator Christopher Go. The charges were in violation of Republic Act 7080, which defines plunder as amassing at least 50 million pesos through a series of criminal acts. Such theft is a severe crime, disqualifying the perpetrator from holding public office. According to the law, in an interview earlier on Friday with the Manila Times, Trillanes said the former president and Go, a trusted aide, were linked to 6.6 billion pesos in anomalous projects in Davao from 2007 to 2019, the period when Duterte served as mayor and later as president of the Philippines. Plus, according to PSA, inflation down to 3.7% in June. Slower increases in electricity and fuel prices as well as transport costs caused inflation to decline last month, according to the report on Philippine Statistics Authority. Consumer price growth dropped to 3.7% in June, snapping 4 consecutive months of increases at 3.9% in May. This is also markedly lower than the 5.4% recorded in the same month last year. Rates remain within the central bank's 2.0 to 4.0% target for the seventh straight month. It is well within the 3.4 to 4.2% estimate of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas for the month and lower than the 3.9% median in a Manila Times poll of economists. According to the PSA, the downtrend in the overall inflation in June 2024 was primarily influenced by the slower annual increment of housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels at 0.1% during the month of 0.9% in May 2024. Slower increases in transport and restaurants and accommodation services also contributed to the decline. Food and alcoholic beverages still accounted for over half, 61.9% share or 2.3 percentage points of overall inflation. Food inflation, meanwhile, rose to 6.5% in June from the previous one's 6.1%. Rise inflation, which contributed to the uptick in inflation from the previous months, declined further to 22.5% last month to 23% in May. Core inflation, which includes volatile food and energy items, remained at 3.1% and markedly lower than the 7.4% recorded a year earlier. Year to date, headline inflation and core inflation were recorded at 3.5% and 3.4% respectively, but are still within the central's bank target range for the year. And separate panel probe into cost of new Senate building sought. A separate probe into the cost of the Senate's new building in Taguig City, this time by the Chamber's panel on Public Information and Mass Media, is being brought by Senator Robin Hood Padilla. Panel head Padilla, in his Senate Resolution number 1063, said there is a need to maintain the public's trust in the Senate as an institution amid issues haunting the cost of the new Senate building. According to Padilla, informing the public of the processes undertaken in the construction of the NSB building, including the increased cost, is necessary to ensure that the public does not lose its trust in the Senate as an institution. There is a need to let the public know of the partner contractors, if any, and subcontractors of Hillmark's Construction Corporation. The Senate panel on accounts headed by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano began its own probe on July 3. The first hearing was marred by heated exchange between Cayetano and Senator Nancy Binay, who previously headed the panel on accounts. In the same hearing, Cayetano insisted that the building's cost would total to a whopping 23 billion pesos. However, Binay cited the Department of Public Works and Highways data, which showed that it would only reach about 21 billion pesos. To recall, it was also Padilla who sought the suspension of the proceeding after Binay and Cayetano's exchange went personal. Cayetano, however, said he wanted to give Binay a chance to explain the establishment's funding. The issues surrounding the buildings first erupted after Senate President Francis Escudero ordered a review of the establishment's cost. This, after he was informed by Cayetano about the apparent dramatic increase in the building's construction fee and an initial budget of 8 billion pesos to a projected 23.3 billion pesos. Now for more news, here's DJ Sen. DJ Sen?
Thanks, Dreamcar. Over to our international headlines now, specifically the 2024 general election in the United Kingdom, which was held yesterday. And now we have the results so far, according to the information we have here. And as many of you know by now, the Labour Party under Sir Keir Starmer, which will now be the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, will win a landslide majority, or has won a landslide majority. Here is the results so far. Keep this one in mind. The Labour Party has gained 412 seats in the British Parliament, which is a net gain of 211. The Conservatives, listen to this, 121 seats, down from 250. That is a net loss of 250 seats. The Liberal Democrats up by 63, bringing their total to 71. The SNP, or the Scottish National Party, down from their historic highs to their historic low, down from 9, which is a net loss of 38, and others with 35, with an increase of 14. It is also worth noting that there are major gains as well, not technically major, but relatively gains from the newly formed party, Reform UK, under Nigel Farage, which we'll be talking about later, as well as the Green Party of England and Wales, which had gained 3 seats so far. according to the information we have here. It is also worth noting that Plaid Cymru, which is the other political party in the region of Wales, has also gained a seat, bringing their seat count up to 4. And now, in related news to that one, as Labour has passed the threshold to form a majority government as the party storms towards a landslide victory at the general election. Keir Starmer's party has so far won more than 400 seats, passing the 326 seats required for a majority, with almost 200 conservative constituencies toppled. The next Prime Minister told a crowd in central London, "Change begins now." Across our country, people will be waking up to the news, relieved that a weight has been lifted. A burden finally removed from the shoulders of this great nation. I don't promise you it will be easy. Jacob Rees-Mogg was one of the most prominent Conservatives to lose his seat, finishing behind Labour's Dan Norris in Northeast Somerset, which the media calls it a Portillo moment, said that, but even when the going gets through, and it will, remember tonight and always what this is all about. Other key departures include Defense Secretary Grant Shapps and Commons Leader Penny Mordaunt, who are among more than a dozen ministers to lose their seats. Conceding defeat, Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister, said that today power will change hands in a peaceful and orderly manner and with goodwill on all sides. The British people have delivered a suffering verdict tonight, and I take responsibility for the loss. To the many good, hardworking Conservative candidates who lost tonight, I am sorry. Reform UK, which we are now talking about, has 4 MPs so far, with Lee Anderson retaking his seat in Ashfield, while party chairman Richard Tice also won in Boston and Skegness, while Nigel Farage won a seat in Parliament for the first time after 8 consecutive attempts. Rupert Lowe won the party's 4th seat in Great Yarmouth. Former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, who was standing as an independent, regained his Islington North seat, while Diana Abbott won in Hackney North and Stoke Newington. Meanwhile, George Galloway failed to retain the Rochdale seat. He won at a by-election in February, who is a member and founder, in fact, of his own party, the Workers' Party, losing to Labour's Paul Waugh. The Liberal Democrats are benefiting from a collapse in Tory support and are predicted to get 56 MPs, which you may recall from the report that we have here has 71, which is more than the 61 seats that were predicted by the exit poll, but still their best result since 2010. In related news to that one, as Nigel Farage, they vowed that Reform UK is, quote, coming for Labour after he finally became an MP on his 8th attempt with a thumping victory in Clacton. The party's chairman, Richard Tice, added that Reform was filling a vacuum in right-wing politics in Britain after the party gained 4 seats in the general election. More than 4 million people voted for Reform, giving it a 14% share, and Mr. Farage said that the party would come second in hundreds of constituencies. Meanwhile, Mr. Tice blasted the injustice of the first-past-the-post electoral system after the Liberal Democrats gained 71 seats with 3.5 million votes. This meant that Lib Dems have 67 more seats than Reform, despite having about 500,000 fewer votes. World leaders have begun congratulating Keir Starmer on the Labour Party's victory in the general election. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese welcomed both Starmer and Angela Rayner as his deputy, taking up the reins of power, saying that they share very similar views with his own government. According to him, they have very similar views to us on a range of issues. I'm sure we'll work closely on AUKUS, where we work very closely as well with the former government. Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shared a triumphant response to the news, labeling it a historic UK election victory. Christopher Luxon, the Prime Minister in New Zealand, congratulated Keir Starmer in this post where he said that, thank you, Rishi Sunak, for your service to your nation and friendship to New Zealand. We also have here the President of the European Council, Charles Michel, who said he was looking forward to working with Starmer in what he called a new cycle for the United Kingdom. And finally, on our cool weather forecast now, as cloudy skies and rain showers are forecast in Metro Manila and most parts of the country on Friday due to ITCZ, according to Pagasa. Aside from Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol region, the entire Visayas, and Zamboanga Peninsula are also expected to have cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. The effects of the ITCZ, which refers to cloud bands that encircle the globe near the Earth's equator, will continue in the coming days, according to Pag-asa. Stick around, Cool News at 6. We'll return after these messages. Stay along with us. We'll be right back.
6:22 in the evening with your koolNews at 6. Continuing our news, continuing our news tonight, Google emissions increased by 48% due to its AI. Artificial intelligence is changing the world, but not in the ways you expect. As it improves global technologies, AI has increased Google emissions by a whopping 48% over the previous 5 years. Interesting Engineering reported that Google's AI advancements like Gemini consume massive amounts of electricity. The International Emergency Agency, the International Energy Agency says their total electricity consumption will double by 2026. That amounts to 1,000 terawatts, equivalent to Japan's current electricity demand. Moreover, research firm Semi-Analysis says AI could account for 4.5% of global energy generation by 2030. Educational website PubSci explains companies worldwide are developing AI products and services. These artificial intelligence programs require data centers to operate them. These data centers require huge amounts of energy to run. The website cited other experts regarding that the growing trend, such as Amazon Web Service Vice President of Engineering, Bill Voss. He believes that a new data center is being built every 3 days. Global IT infrastructure product manufacturer Nconex says a data center's average power consumption has risen to 7 kilowatts per hour. Also in the news tonight, BMI, weak spending to hampers PH growth goal. The Philippines may have a hard time reaching the upper half of its 6% to 7% growth target amid a slow recovery in household spending. The Fitch Group unit said, risk to your growth outlook hinges largely on the recovery in private consumption. In our current forecast, we have taken April's robust import growth figures to indicate early signs of a rebound in household spending. It noted a sharp increase in imports in April, indicating early signs of recovery in demand, especially when seen through the lens of the country's household spending. Merchandise imports in March bounced back by 12.6% year-on-year to $10.98 billion in April after declining by 17.7% in February, making it the largest level in 5 months. Household spending, which accounts for more than 70% of economic output, grew by 4.6% in the first quarter, the slowest after the pandemic. Coupled with weak public spending, the country's economic output is measured by the gross domestic product, or GDP, expanded by 5.7% during the period. The BMI said that the country would have a hurdle to high interest environment which has crippled investments to achieve its growth targets. The Monetary Board earlier hinted that it may cut rates by 25 basis points as early as August and another 25 BPS in the last quarter of the year. The key's country rate is still at 17-year high of 6.5%. On our entertainment news, Lauren Yogi issues appeal to respect Beanie's personal space. Star Magic head Lauren Yogi appealed to fans to respect Beanie's privacy and personal space after members Maloy and Aya experienced disturbing moments while they were out to enjoy their free time after headlining their recent 3-day sold-out concert. In a TikTok video posted by a fan, Maloy was seen apparently in discomfort as she got mobbed by fans while dining out with her family in a restaurant in Lemery, Batangas, turning the moment to a meet and greet as fans swamped their table. In another video that went viral, a man asserted himself too close to Aya at a bar in Cebu, and the singer was shown to be shocked and uneasy by how she was approached. Both videos sparked outrage and concern from Beanie's fans called Blooms as well as the other netizens. According to Lauren Yogi, in a video statement posted on X, I was able to see some very disturbing videos of some of our members who didn't seem to enjoy their break from their very stressful 3-night concert. They went to public places because they wanted to unwind and spend some time with their families, but unfortunately, naka-experience po sila ng hindi magaganda. The director has stated that the girls are only humans who also need and deserve privacy and personal space. According to the Binis post, before the day ends, here a few reminders and an appeal from Derek Lauren. Please respect Binis' personal space and privacy. Stressed by Jogi, nakikiusap po ako personally as part of the Bini team na sana po kapag ang mga miyembro ay spending their personal time, especially with their family and friends, to please also show respect to their privacy and personal space. Tao rin po sila. Kailangan rin po nila makisalamuha sa ibang tao. Doug affirmed that they wanted to give the members a semblance of regular life, especially given their hectic schedule and without the threat of others crossing their personal boundaries. As of this writing, fans are making an appeal on X for business management to take legal action against Fernand and his friends who are seemingly trying to make fun of the situation with the comments they left on the guy's apology post. And that is it for tonight here on koolNews at 6 p.m. As always, thank you so much for your continuous trust and support. For more news and information, keep it right here on Cool FM. And you can send us a tip to us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. From the station that cares for you, I'm Dim Karaoke.
And I'm PJ Sen. From everyone here at the studio to your home, we all hope you have yourselves a very good evening. Stay safe and take care. Goodbye, everybody.